I can't think of a worse situation than your daughter being sick, than when you're coming to the Lord, you receive news that she has passed on. It is in this very situation that Jesus teaches us, do not be afraid, only believe. It's in Mark chapter 5, verse 36. Jesus says, do not be afraid any longer, but only believe. He says this right in the middle of the situation I just described. Not only is there a need for a miracle, but in needing the miracle, the situation finalizes with death. This situation is done. It's over. There's no more need for a miracle because she has died. But even in this, Jesus teaches, do not be afraid, only believe. When I see the word only, it always sticks out to me. When Jesus says only believe, he's saying, trust in me completely, with no additions. Don't trust in me plus logic. Don't trust in me plus reasoning. Don't trust in me plus figuring things out. Trust in me with no strings attached. This is what Jesus means when he says, only believe. No other thing but trust in me. No additions to absolute abandoned trust. And Jesus connects this with do not fear. I believe that what Jesus is saying is that fear comes from additions to faith. Once you add to complete trust in the Lord, you begin to dilute faith and it ends up twisting into fear. So fear would be the adding of logic, the adding of reasoning, the adding of the need to understand. It's as if Jesus is saying, don't let logic and reasoning and the need to understand be added to your trust in me. Figuring things out is this logical? Does this make sense? Reason is trying to find the motive, the reason, the origin, why. It is all seeking to understand. But we do not lean on our understanding, but we trust in the Lord. And Jesus is teaching this, that the reason why so many people's faith turns to fear is because they add to their faith. Jesus says, do not fear anymore. Only believe. Just trust in me. Even when you can't figure it out, even when there's no reason for it, even when your logic doesn't line up, continue to trust in me. So even in the face of the most emotional case, Jesus teaches this. The sickness of a father's daughter and the news of finality. Jesus says, only believe. Just trust me. Don't add to that trust. Even in a completely hopeless situation, abandon your need to understand. Abandon your need for things to make sense. Abandon even your own logic and just trust completely in the Lord. I believe this is a word to meet some of your situations right now. As you watch me, you have something pressing against you. I encourage you, listen to the words of Jesus. Your situation is probably not as bad as what this man was going through with the sickness of his daughter and her death. I encourage you to trust in the Lord right where you are. Don't add anything to it. God bless you.